What's going on, Wolfpack Nation, and welcome back to a new video today. We've got so much to talk about, so much to cover that's happened with NC State over the past week or so. We've got to talk about what's going on the hardwood in basketball, and also preview tomorrow's bowl game against Kentucky. So let's jump right into it. And you already know where we're starting. We're starting with NC State on the hardwood, getting a huge kickoff ACC win against our rival, number 17th ranked at the time, North Carolina. The Wolfpack went into this game shorthanded without DJ Funderburk. We did get Cam Hayes back facing off against the Carolina team that you could tell earlier in the season was not exactly living up to their rankings starting the season. I believe somewhere around 12 or something around there, top 15 ranked. You could tell this is not a top 15 team in the country. NC State jumped out early, a huge first half lead. I believe they got up to as much as 17 maybe in the first half, but Carolina clawed their way back, cut it to 7 at halftime, and then ultimately cut it down to a 2-point game in the second half before NC State kind of stretched the lead thanks to Shaquille Moore and the young guys really stepping up. Cam Hayes had 7 off the bench. Shaquille Moore, a career high in his early young career, 17 points, including a huge dunk going baseline on Garrison Brooks. And NC State having pretty much one big man, Manny Bates, who was outstanding in this game, had 14 points and 5 blocks and stayed out of foul trouble for the most part. And that's tough it's been tough for him early on in his career, especially against UNC, where, it's no surprise to see one of State's best players get 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes. We've been there before. We've seen it. But he stayed out of foul trouble for the most part. Pretty much everybody did. Helms was outstanding on the defensive end. And Coach Keats' game plan in this game was going to he's going to pretty much dare UNC to shoot the ball. And they shot 12 three-pointers in this game and only made 2 of them, holding UNC 2 for 12 from 3. And their guys just really didn't want to shoot at all. Obviously, UNC is a very big, heavy team. They have 3 McDonald's All-American big men, including Garrison Brooks, the preseason ACC Player of the Year. He struggled in this game, just 5 for 14 from the field. And NC State, give Jericho Helms credit for guarding him, even though Jericho Helms on offense was 0 of 8, struggling. There's that big dunk from Shaquille Moore. Helms struggled on offense, could not find his shot all game. They had just 1 point, but he stuck in there and played fantastic on defense and kept really Garrison Brooks and as well as Baycott. Baycott played well, but kept Garrison Brooks from getting into a rhythm the whole game. So outstanding job by Helms on the defensive end. That's really what kept him in this ball game. And that's nice to see State players like Helms and other guys, when their shots aren't falling, there's other ways that they can impact the game. And this is that run late in the second half. Daniels hit a 3. Braxton came down and knocked one down. It looked like State was pulling away, but of course, everything with NC State is not always easy. There's always going to be drama with NC State in the last minutes of the game, but we hung in there. We struggled on the free throw line at the end. We made some dumb turnovers, some dumb plays. Let them get easy baskets in transition, as you see right here. And the missed free throw from Daniels gave UNC a chance to tie the game. But again, they missed 2 3-pointers at the end, and State's able to hold on for a 3-point win and start ACC play 1-0, and a huge win for NC State. First win of Carolina in about 3 years, I believe. So hopefully we can build on this, and of course we'll go up to Chapel Hill in a few weeks and play them again. Hopefully we can get a win there as well. State's next game on the schedule, their second ACC game, was this past Wednesday against Boston College. And you see that score looks mighty familiar. Another 79-76 win for NC State to open up conference play now 2-0. In this game, State got off to a hot start against the struggling BC team who's coming off a nearly 40-point loss against Syracuse to start their ACC play. So State coming out strong, and they do get DJ Funderburk back, and he was their leading scorer. He played very well despite foul trouble, and with Manny Bates, he had to step up. Manny Bates had a knee injury early in the first half. It wasn't too serious, but Coach Keats kept him out for precautionary reasons. Said he would get an MRI. He probably has already had it. I haven't seen any information on it, so he's probably good to go. Maybe he just got a little bruised knee up, or bruised up or something. I believe he was able to come back in, but Coach Keats kept him out for precautionary reasons. But Funderburk picked up where he's left off last year, where he left off earlier this year, dominating down low, being that physical force on the offensive end, as well as rebounding the basketball. As I mentioned, DJ did get into some foul trouble in the second half, and he had to go to the bench, in which led NC State to go into a sort of a small ball lineup, putting Helms at the 5 to play center. And Helms had a nice bounce back game, 20 points on 5 of 8 from the field, got to the free throw line a lot, and was able to make 9 of 11 from the free throw line. And he had some big time shots that kept NC State in the game. Boston College took the lead. Winston Tabbs, a guy who hadn't played much for them, he had missed last year with an injury. He came out in the second half and he was knocking down threes, talking a little trash to Devin Daniels, but I believe Devin Daniels ended up getting the last laugh in that little argument. But there's Helms, a huge 3 after Boston College took a 2-point lead. It was very strange seeing the senior guards for State struggle from the field. Daniels was just 4 for 12 and 1 for 5 from 3. Beverly, who really struggled all night in foul trouble, fouled out eventually and was 0 for 4 from the field, all 3-pointers that he missed. But of course, State had guys step up again. Helms, you see here, getting a big-time M1, give us the lead back. Daniels ended up taking a wild shot at the end, and it seemed like things were kind of swinging towards Boston College. But State, another young guy stepping up, and it's once again Shaquille Moore, the hero against North Carolina, who played so well, just fearless out there. Gets a good look, knocks down the jumper to give NC State the lead with 26 seconds remaining. Devin Daniels makes up for his tough shooting night with a huge stop on the defensive end. Shaquille Moore comes down and gets a dunk with about 2 seconds left, and NC State holds on for a 79-76 win to start ACC play 2-0 under Coach Keats for the first time. And now this sets up a pretty interesting game on Tuesday. State will play their next game against Clemson. The 7-1 Tigers taking on 6-1 NC State. Kind of an important early ACC matchup on the calendar year. We'll see, hopefully State can be at full strength and have Manny Bates back, because they're going to have their hands full. Amir Sims for Clemson will give them all they can handle down low. State and Clemson split last year in their meetings. This is one I'm really looking forward to, seeing what State's got. Can they withstand a really solid team on the road? I know they probably won't be fans, but an early road test in the ACC is going to be really, really important to see how they handle it and see if they can improve to 3-0 and start this ACC play. All right, enough of basketball, and we'll switch over to football. And, of course, we're going to talk about State's bowl game tomorrow at noon against Kentucky, back in the Gator Bowl, back in a bowl game for the first time since 2018. But before we talk about any of that bowl stuff, I want to talk about a couple of Wolfpack stars who are chasing their dreams and they're going to end up turning pro. First, Carrie Angeline. We already knew Lee McNeil was declaring for the draft, but Carrie Angeline came out and said that he would be foregoing his senior season with the Wolfpack and headed on to the NFL draft. He is the guy who really broke out over the past couple of years at NC State. Had a great year this year as well. Coach Tim Beck really, really utilized Carey's skill set, being a great blocker as well as a pass catcher and a route runner. He's definitely going to be on the NFL roster, and seeing him play on Sundays is going to be outstanding. And Coach Dorn has a great track record of getting guys in the NFL, and Carey Angeline is going to be added to that list. And recently, Joe Sculthorpe, the outstanding offensive lineman, had a great season. He decided that he would as well join Carrie Angeline and Aleem McNeil in declaring for the NFL draft. Another guy who's been outstanding for NC State. We're so appreciative of what he's been able to do. And he had a great season as well. He's had a fantastic career. We wish him nothing but the best. And as far as these guys playing Saturday in the bowl game, I do not think Aleem McNeil will be playing. As far as these two guys, Angeline and Sculthorpe, there's a chance they will play, and if they do, it's going to be great to see them play one more time in a Wolfpack uniform and try to go out on a high note, finish the season 9-3 and with a bowl win. And this is important because the last bowl game, State played obviously a Gator Bowl 2018 against Texas A&M. We had guys opt out. Kelvin Harmon, I believe, opted out of that game. But Ryan Finley did play, and Finley struggled in that game. And some think it may have hurt his draft stock in the end. So we'll see if these guys play or not. It really, in that game, it was the rush defense that was absolutely terrible. They gave up huge run play after run play. And I believe the running back for Texas A&M in that game set a Gator Bowl record for most rushing yards in that game. So hopefully State cannot have a repeat performance of that game against the Kentucky team who's nowhere near as good as that Texas A&M team that we played 2 years ago. So, of course, State's got to come out on their A game. And no SEC team is going to be an easy win, of course. So we'll see. Now time for the final score prediction of the season. Bowl game, Gator Bowl, State versus Kentucky. Interesting game. Kentucky, of course, an SEC team. It's always interesting to play SEC teams. But a team that struggled this year, definitely not as talent loaded as they have been in the past couple of years. State Not sure who's playing, who's not. And I've seen, if there's one trend I've seen in bowl games so far, is they have been high scoring games. So that's why I'm going to go with a sort of high scoring prediction game. I'm going to say NC State does get a win. They get revenge of their blowout that they had against them a couple years ago against Texas A&M in this very same Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. I'm going to say State wins 41-30, another high-scoring game. But State pulls out a decent win, and they finish the season 9-3, another outstanding season for Coach Dorn in his tenure at NC State. The Wolfpack start the new year, but close out the season with another win. I think that's going to do it for this video. Of course, Happy New Year to Wolfpack Nation and all you guys for watching my videos. I appreciate it so much. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And of course, as always, thank you for watching, and go Pack.